Have you ever woken up in the middle of the night, found your cat just sitting there? It's perfectly still, eyes wide open, staring directly at you. No blinking, no movement, just watching. Most people laugh it off. Some even find it a little creepy. But what almost no one realizes is that this strange nighttime behavior is actually one of the most revealing things your cat does. Because when a cat stares at you while you sleep, it isn't random, it's not meaningless, and it's definitely not accidental, in fact. Behind that quiet gaze is a set of instincts and emotions that most cat owners completely misunderstand. Your cat might be checking on you, protecting you, trying to communicate with you, or responding to something about you you didn't even know they could sense. And here's the part that surprises most people. Some cats only do this when they've formed a very deep bond with their human, which means that strange moment when you wake up and see those glowing eyes in the dark might actually be one of the strongest signs of trust your cat can give you. But there's also another reason cats stare while you sleep that most owners miss completely. And when you understand it, the behavior suddenly makes a lot more sense. We'll get to that in a moment. But first, let's start with the most misunderstood reason of all. 1. They're checking if you're still alive. It sounds dramatic, but in your cat's world, completely normal when your cat watches you while you sleep. Part of their brain is doing something very simple. It's checking for signs that you're still okay, because to a cat, sleep is a strange and vulnerable state. Think about how sleep works in the animal world, in the wild. Sleeping too deeply can be dangerous. Predators hunt at night, sounds change, smells shift, threats appear when you least expect them. That's why most animals never fall into a completely unconscious sleep the way humans do. Cats especially are known for something called polyphasic sleep. They sleep many times throughout the day, but they stay partially alert. Even when a cat looks completely relaxed, their brain is still monitoring the environment, listening, sensing, processing. So, when your cat sees you lying still for hours at night, barely moving, their instincts sometimes kick in. They watch your breathing. They observe small movements. They listen for changes in your rhythm. Not because they think something is wrong, because instinct tells them to monitor the members of their group. And, yes, in your cat's mind, you are part of that group. Researchers studying domestic cats have noticed something interesting. Cats that form strong bonds with their owners often develop behaviors similar to those seen in wild cat colonies. They watch each other. They groom each other. They sleep near each other. And sometimes, they quietly observe each other while resting. It's a form of silent, social awareness. So when your cat sits near your bed and stares at you in the middle of the night, they may simply be checking something very basic. Your breathing, your movement, your presence. Because if you suddenly stop moving or breathing normally, your cat will notice much faster than most people expect. There are even documented cases where cats woke their owners during medical emergencies. Some pawed at them, some meowed loudly, others jumped on their chest. Not because they understood medicine, but because something about the person's breathing or movement felt wrong. Their instincts told them something had changed. But here's where things get even more interesting. Sometimes your cat isn't just checking on you. Sometimes they're actually waiting for something. And the reason why might surprise you too. They're waiting for you to wake up. If your cat stares at you while you sleep, there's a good chance they already know something about you that you may not even realize. Your routine. Cats are incredibly good at learning patterns much better than most people think. Over time, your cat starts noticing the small signals that happen before you wake up. Your breathing changes, your body shifts, your alarm clock is about to go off, your phone lights up, your internal rhythm begins to change, and your cat learns all of it. This is because cats are extremely sensitive to predictable behaviors in nature. Recognizing patterns is how animals survive. They learn when prey appears, when predators move, when food sources become available, and domestic cats apply that same ability to their humans, which means after living with you long enough, your cat begins to predict when you're about to wake up. Some cats will actually position themselves nearby right before that moment. They watch. They wait sometimes. They stare. And when the timing feels right, they make their move. Maybe they jump on your chest. Maybe they meow loudly. Maybe they gently tap your face with their paw. Or maybe they just sit there patiently until your eyes open. Because the moment you wake up, their day begins. Food appears. Attention starts. Doors open. The house becomes active again. So from your cat's perspective, watching you sleep is sometimes the same as waiting for the start of the day. You're like a biological alarm clock there, monitoring. But here's something many owners never notice. Some cats start watching their humans minutes before the alarm rings, almost like they can sense the exact moment sleep is about to end. And in some ways, they actually can, because human sleep has stages you're breathing. Movement and muscle tension subtly shift as you move from deep sleep toward waking. Your cat picks up on those signals. Tiny sounds, small motions, changes in rhythm. All of it becomes information. So when you wake up and see your cat staring at you, there's a good chance they've already been watching for several minutes, just waiting for the moment. Your eyes finally open, but this still doesn't explain one very strange detail. Because some cats stare at their owners, even when they're not about to wake up, sometimes in the middle of the night, for no obvious reason. Just sitting there watching. And the reason behind that behavior goes much deeper than routine. In fact, connects to something that has existed in cats for thousands of years, and once you understand it, the idea of your cat silently watching over you at night might feel very different. But before we get into that, if you're enjoying this and you love learning the hidden meanings behind cat behavior, make sure to like the video and subscribe. It helps the channel reach more people who want to understand their cats on a deeper level. And trust me, some of the reasons behind this staring behavior get even more fascinating, because the next one reveals something most people never imagine about their cat, something that goes all the way back to their ancient survival instincts. And it explains why your cat might not just be watching you, but actually guarding you. Earlier we talked about how your cat might watch you because they're checking on you, or waiting for you to wake up. But there's another reason that goes much deeper than routine or curiosity. Something built directly into your cat's instincts. And once you understand it, that quiet stare in the middle of the night starts to look less strange, more like something ancient. 3. They think they're standing guard. Most people see their cat as a small molest house pet. But inside your cat's brain is the wiring of a hunter. Even the most pampered indoor cat still carries the instincts of a predator. And predators are always aware of their surroundings, especially at night in the wild. Nighttime is when danger and opportunity both appear. Sounds travel farther, movement is easier to detect, and many animals are most active after dark. So cats evolved to stay alert during these hours. That's why you might notice your cat is becoming more energetic late at night, running through the house, jumping on furniture, suddenly sprinting down hallways for no visible reason. To us, it looks random, but to them, it's their natural rhythm. Now think about what happens when you go to sleep. Your cat watches as you lie down. You close your eyes, your movements slow, your awareness disappears. In your cat's mind, you've just entered the most vulnerable state a living creature can be in. And deep in their instincts is a behavior that comes from thousands of years of survival. When members of a group rest, someone stays alert in wildcat colonies. Individuals often take turns remaining aware while others sleep, not in an organized way like humans would plan it, but through natural instinct. One animal sleeps lightly, while another is awake. Then they switch. It's a silent system of protection. So when your cat sits nearby and watches the room while you sleep, part of them may believe they're doing exactly that. Standing guard, you might notice this, depending on where your cat sits when they stare. If they position themselves facing the bedroom door, they're watching the main entry point. If they sit near a window, they're monitoring outside movement. If they stay close to your head or chest, they're watching the most important member of their territory, you. Of course, your cat isn't planning security strategies, but their instincts still tell them something simple. If something unusual happens in the night, they should notice it first. This is why some cats suddenly wake up and stare toward the door or hallway when nothing seems to be there. Their senses pick up things humans miss. Tiny sounds, air movement, faint. Smells. Your cat's hearing is far more sensitive than yours. They can detect noises many humans never notice. So sometimes when your cat stares at you, they're not just watching you, they're watching everything around you, and in their mind, it's part of their role. Now, will your cat actually fight off an intruder? It's probably not. But instinct doesn't care about logic. It cares about behavior, and your cat's behavior might be telling them they have. Job: protect the territory, protect the group, protect the human who feeds them, shelters them, and shares their space. But protection isn't the only reason cats stare, because sometimes they're not watching for threats. They're watching something much more subtle, something happening inside you, for they're reading your body. Signals. Humans often underestimate how closely animals observe us, but cats are surprisingly good at reading human behavior, especially the behavior of the person they're bonded with. Your cat watches you every single day when you walk, when you sit, when you talk, when you move through the house. Over time, your cat learns your patterns almost like a language. Your footsteps mean something. Your tone of voice means something. Even the way you open doors or move. Objects becomes familiar signals, and this doesn't stop when you go to sleep. In fact, some of the most interesting signals happen while you're asleep. Your breathing rhythm changes. Your body shifts position. Your muscles relax and tighten. Your heart rate slows or speeds up depending on what stage of sleep you're in. All of these things create subtle cues, and your cat can sense many of them. This is why some cats seem to know when their owners are about to wake up, even without alarms. But it goes deeper than that. Studies on animal behavior show that pets can detect emotional changes in their owners. Stress, anxiety, illness, fatigue. When humans experience these states, our bodies release different hormones and chemicals. Our breathing patterns change. Our movements become slightly different. Our scent even shifts in ways we can't detect ourselves, but animals can. So when your cat stares at you while you sleep, they might actually be studying these signals, learning your rhythms, understanding what normal looks like for you. And once they know your normal patterns, they notice when something changes. That's why some cats suddenly become more attentive. When their owner is sick, or anxious, or emotionally distressed, they may sit closer, watch more carefully, follow their owner around the house. It's not because they understand human problems. It's because they sense changes in the signals they've learned to recognize. And during the quiet hours of the night, those signals are easier to notice. There are fewer distractions, no loud sounds, no movement around the house, just the steady rhythm of breathing and sleep, which makes your cat's nighttime observation even more focused. But there's another reason cats stare that has nothing to do with protection or observation. Sometimes the explanation is much simpler. And surprisingly, are ELATABLE 5. They're trying to get your attention. Cats are patient creatures, but they're also very strategic. If your cat wants something from you, they don't always ask right away. Sometimes they wait, watch, and choose the perfect moment. If you've ever woken up to your cat staring at you, there's a good chance they were thinking about one thing. Food. Cats quickly learn. Who controls their resources? Who fills the food bowl? Who opens the door? Who gives attention? And over time, they experiment with ways to influence that person. One of those ways is simply watching and waiting. Your cat might stare at you while you sleep, because they're anticipating the moment you wake up. They know that once your eyes open, there's a chance something good will happen. Breakfast, petting, belater, or access to another room in the house. You might notice this behavior happens more often close to your usual waking time. Your cat learns that routine, and instead of loudly waking you up right away, some cats choose a quieter method. They wait, observe, and when you finally move, that's when they act. Sometimes with a gentle paw tap, sometimes with a soft meow, sometimes by walking across your face, which, from their perspective, is simply the fastest way to get results. But here's where things get even more interesting. Because there's one final reason cats stare at their owners during sleep, and it reveals something surprisingly emotional about the relationship between cats and humans. It's something that explains why this behavior happens more often with certain cats than others, and why some cats will sit quietly beside their owner for long periods of time, just doing nothing but watching. That final reason might actually be the most meaningful one of all.